I'm Stephen Gandolfi, and welcome once again to the tasting room here at Westport Whiskey and Wine. This week, we'll be talking about some ryes, all of them Kentucky produced. But first, I want to remind you of a couple of events happening here in the tasting room. This week, we'll be having our bar night as we do every Thursday, and the specials will be on summer whites. So these are light, crisp, crushable whites, porch pounders, whatever you want to call them. We'll be having a flight of those this week. We also have a couple of other classes this week. I'm not sure if they're open. I would suggest you check our website to see if we have any openings. I know one's a Mondavi class. That should be pretty good. And then this Saturday, the 22nd, we will be having a certified bourbon sword class for the Stave and Thief Society. And I believe there's still openings for that as well. Again, check our website. Best way to stay up to date on all of our events. On to this week's flight. So we've got a few ryes here. We'll start off with new Riff Rye up in Newport, Kentucky. This is their bottled and bond 4-year-old rye. One of the things worth noting about this is that it is 95% unmalted rye, 5% malted rye. And that comes across in this whiskey. Malted rye is something you don't see very often, although rumor has it New Riff will be producing a 100% malted rye whiskey later this year. Malted ryes tend to be lighter, grassier, maybe a little floral, and it comes across here, especially on the finish of this whiskey. You get those lighter, grassier notes, and it adds a nice complement to what's already a very rich-bodied whiskey. Moving from there, we'll hit Peerless. Peerless, young, 2 to 3 years. I think this guy's probably closer to 2. And what on our shelf is probably in that range too. There's a reason why these guys are racking up the accolades that they have. These are earthy, rich, heavy ryes, very flavorful. I mean, they're really extracting some of the best characteristics you can in a young rye. And if you haven't tried them yet, within this suite is probably the best way to do it. From there, we'll hit Wilderness Trail. Wilderness Trail, of course, has made a big splash over the last year. Their bottled and bond wheated bourbon has been very popular. If you haven't tried their new bottled and bond high rye bourbon, I highly recommend that. Just a really lovely little whiskey. And then their rye, not bottled and bond, but it is single barrel and bottled to cask strength, which for this one I believe is 112 even. So that means it's probably going to the barrel around 115, I would imagine. We don't have a definite age on this, I don't believe, but we do have a sense of the grain bill. It's about 56% rye, I think 16 or 17% barley, the rest will be corn, and that asserts itself in the sort of sweeter, richer style of rye that we're getting here. It's definitely a more classically kind of Kentucky style of rye. Think, Knob Creek or maybe Turkey Rye, something like that. From here, Willett. The Willett family estate ryes are getting harder and harder to find all the time. This is their 4-year-old. This is an expression from a year or two, I believe. 115 proof, and it is, just gorgeous. It's herbally, grassy, spicy, just a great expression of rye. So typically this flight would be $26. This week we'll do 20. So come on down and try some locally made ryes.